This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're in Manchester for Matchroom Show this Saturday night, live on Sky Sports and DAZN. I'm joined by Mr. Rhodes. Bit of a Yorkshire invasion going on here at the Crown Plaza.
Yeah, got us on little posse over there, little group. We're all we've just arrived a few hours ago. We've all had the test and we're all negative, which is fantastic for the show this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. It's the first bubble I've been in. Thanks to Steffi for inviting me to giving him a hand this weekend and helping him out, so I'm excited.
Wonderful, and always wonderful to see you guys from Yorkshire. You bring such positivity to the bubble. As always,
and a different accent.
One we can't understand, but anyway, no offence, I love people from Yorkshire. Right, a couple of things I want to talk to you about. We're going to speak to Lee in a little while. But yes, I don't know, what are you, like, Mr. Computer Gamer? What are you now? What are you? Like,
what do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Esports Boxing Club, baby. We spoke a year ago, KUGAN. It's about a year ago we first spoke about this. And who would even imagine where we are today? Who would even imagine? You know, last week announcing, you know, the greatest Muhammad Ali involved in the game. Who would have thought? But it's just from a year ago when we first spoke, from me getting involved in this amazing project, this game, and you know, it's just gone from strength to strength, and it's only going to get better and better. It really is.
Well, we've seen kind of almost now weekly updates of kind of who's involved in the game, who's being added to kind of the roster of fighters in there, and I think it's safe to say you've pretty much got a who's who, shall we say, of the boxing world.
Absolutely. I mean, people have commented now. I mean, it's great to read the comments that people are talking about this game as not only probably the best computer game that's computer boxing game that's been released, but even the best sporting game that possibly could be released. That's how big this could get, and that's how big people are talking about it. You know, and it's just a great project to be a part of. A great because it's what people have wanted. You know, for the last 10 years, Fight Night 2011, 10 years ago, there's not been a quality boxing game out for many, many years, and this year it's happening. This year it's definitely happening.
Okay, so brings me on to my next point. Release date, when are we looking, month-wise?
All I can say is it's going to be this year. You know, the guys are working so hard in getting this game to where it needs to be. The lockdowns haven't helped the guys at Steel City, not one bit. You know, it's been a tough year. Like I said, the lockdowns haven't helped, but it will be this year. You know, there's more and more announcements. Just keep looking at their social medias, Esports Boxing Club and Steel City, for the updates, for the announcements. But it will happen this year.
Okay. My second question. Well, it's not really a question, I'm going to make a statement. Yes. There is still no involvement from anyone at IFL TV that have been rumoured to be in the game, shall we say?
I messaged you, what we're talking now, probably 6 weeks ago, and what did I say in the message? I have you in. I've got you in. IFL will be a part of Esports Boxing Club, and that's a promise. I told you that a few weeks ago.
You said it on camera now. So.
Yeah, no, it's happening. It's happening. Listen, why would we not want IFL?
I know. Exactly, it's not a proper boxing game unless IFL were involved.
KUGAN's involved in it.
I didn't say KUGAN, I said IFL. I didn't say me.
Yeah, but KUGAN is IFL. Come on. But no, it would be crazy if we weren't getting you guys involved in the game, and you will be a part of the game somehow.
Okay, talks to be ongoing, Ryan. Ryan, I did want to kind of ask your opinion about last weekend. Someone who's more than qualified to talk on this subject, or the subject of Canelo really, but what was your take on kind of the night as a whole, the fight as a whole, Billy Joe's performance, etc., how the fight ended, etc.?
So before the fight, I did quite a lot of interviews asking my opinion on what I thought of the chances of Billy Joe, and I honestly give him a big shout in that fight. I thought he had the style, the confidence, the ability, everything to give Canelo problems. I woke up, I set my alarm at quarter to 4 that morning. I woke up, watched it live, and I thought he did really, really well. You know, I don't think the scorecards did him any justice. I thought he did a lot better than what the scorecards was read out. But do you know what I did? I watched it a second time later that Sunday afternoon. He did well, but he didn't do as well as what I thought. When I watched it the second time and I was clear-headed, it just looked like Canelo never came out of second gear. He just cruised, and it was Billy Joe what was pushing it, what was doing everything possible. He was overexerting himself. He was trying his hardest in every round, and it just looked like Canelo was taking his time. And for one shot, that one shot, you know, did that to Billy Joe Saunders' face. It weren't accumulation of shots. Yeah, he caught Billy with some good shots, but it was that one shot what did the damage to Billy Joe's eye. It's so odd. There's no one out there, I believe, who will beat Canelo. The only way Canelo will get beat is if he moves up too much of a higher weight. And he's moved up to light heavyweight. He beat Kovalev. He could move up to cruiserweight, and I'm telling you now, mark my words, he could go up to cruiserweight and win a world title at cruiserweight. Not necessarily he's going to come in at a cruiserweight limit. He'll come in at 13.5 stone or something like that, 13 stone. He could win a world title at cruiserweight. He is that good. I don't believe there's anybody at middleweight, super middleweight, or even light heavyweight to trouble Canelo at all.
We saw, I think it was the day before yesterday, Billy Joe Saunders released a statement via his Facebook. It's the first time we've heard anything from Billy Joe regarding it, and it was interesting to see kind of him saying that, you know, Ben Davison was involved in him being pulled out of the fight. It was obviously a little bit unclear on the night what had happened regarding the corner, but obviously Billy Joe clarified one part of it, that Ben Davison had input in him being pulled out of that fight.
I've seen, I read his statement. You know, humbled. You know, I think he realised he was in with a great quality pound for pound fighter. He'd got some. The corner team Billy had in was so experienced. Jamie Sheldon was in that corner, Ben Davis, Mark Tibbs. The experience what was in that corner. And being honest, when Billy Joe came back to that corner, you wouldn't probably need to have been experienced to see the damage, what occurred just in that last round. You know, it was plain to see that there was serious damage to Billy Joe's eye. And I think it was just inevitable that they was going to pull him out. There was no way anybody should send a fighter out for another round. Not only that, but sending a fighter out to Canelo, it would have only ended seriously bad. So props to the corner team for doing the right decision. Anybody who says Billy should have gone out and done one more round, absolutely crazy. His health, his wealth, and it was most important that he lives to fight another day.
But, I mean, this is the old cliche saying of fighters sometimes need saving from themselves, because that's what the corner's there for. Ultimately, to make those decisions. We know that a lot of trainers have been in situations before where it's awkward and they almost risk a fallout with the fighter if in certain instances we saw it with Mark Breland and Deontay Wilder, etc. But ultimately, the corner and the trainer and people involved closest on the night have a better judgment of what's going on, even more so than the fighter sometimes.
Well, I watched an interview with Mark Tibbs, and the reaction from Billy Joe was not what he wanted. So I believe he had no other option but to stop the fight, whether it was Ben Davis, whether it was Mark Tibbs, or anybody. He didn't get the reaction from his fighters. He's been with Billy Joe. Well, his father's been with Billy Joe for many years. Them guys know Billy Joe from being a kid, you know. And Mark's been in training camp. I think they said about 12, 13 weeks over in Fuerteventura in the gym out there. So they know Billy, they know his reactions, they know what he's like, and if the experience of Mark Tibbs will have looked at Billy Joe, asked him the questions he wanted to find out, and he wasn't getting the right reaction, and that's why he pulled the fight.
But yeah, I mean, listen, we wish Billy Joe obviously a speedy recovery, and I mean, just going from the statement he made, it looks like, you know, it was questions whether Billy Joe would fight again, but from that statement alone, it looks like he'll have his recovery process and get back to it as soon as he can.
Listen, he was in the fight. He was in the fight. The second time I watched it, Canelo was a lot better than what I thought. But Billy Joe was in the fight. Rounds 6 and 7 was Billy's best rounds. Best rounds. To stand so close to Canelo with his hands down, being relaxed and slipping and rolling and getting out of the way of the shots. If I'm honest, I prefer and I like Billy Joe a better fighter at middleweight. I think he's such a better fighter at middleweight. He looked in fantastic shape on last Saturday when he boxed Canelo, but I just think he's a better old middleweight fighter. I think he'll do big things at middleweight again, and I think that's his best weight category.
Well, I was hoping to grab a word with Lee, but we just see him literally just walk past.
Just gone to do his hair again.
His hair's looking all right, actually. Yeah,
yeah, he's braided it.
Wish you could do that, didn't you? All right, sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. Face on you. Let's talk about Lee Appleyard. Takes on highly regarded prospect in Dalton Smith. Interesting challenge here on both sides.
Vera. I think it's a great fight for Lee. I think it's the right type of fight for Dalton. Lee, you know, I've watched Lee for many years. I trained Lee myself for a couple of Lee Appleyard's fight, and obviously I've watched his career progress over the years. Dalton, quality amateur, quality fighter, got great potential. His father's a great trainer. I think it's a great matchup. You know, I think it's great for both fighters where they are today in their careers. So I'm really looking forward to it. Should be great.
We'll look forward to it. It's only Wednesday, so we've got a few more days to go. And I hope you've got a few of them T-shirts.
Which ones? These ones. Just ESBC.
Wow, you've changed. You've changed. You're a marketing machine now. Ryan, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure we'll grab a word with you again at some point this week. So best of luck with your guys and Lee Appleyard this week.
Perfect. Thank you. Looking forward to it.